Morning. Rice sold in 7 states, including here in Florida, being recalled.
Yeah, officials say it's all because of possible
rodent contamination in rice from one of America's most trusted organic brands. And it's not the only one. In the last 5 years, 10 major rice brands have been recalled for everything from deadly bacteria and glass shards to cancer-causing arsenic. Brands you buy at Target, Walmart, Trader Joe's, and Costco. Today, we're counting down the 10 deadly rice brands Americans should never buy and revealing the 4 safe alternatives you can trust. Starting with number 10, Nature Mills Rice Mixes. We start with a brand that wraps itself in the flag of authentic, Indian-inspired cuisine, Nature Mills. Colorful packaging, exotic blends, promises of restaurant-quality meals at home. But in May of 2025, the company was forced to issue a massive recall covering 17 different products, including their popular biryani rice mix, pulao mix, and lemon rice varieties. The reason? They contained undeclared allergens, including wheat, milk, and sesame. These aren't trace amounts from cross-contamination. These are major ingredients that somehow weren't listed on the label. For someone with a severe allergy, eating one of these products could trigger anaphylactic shock within minutes. Your throat closes, your blood pressure drops, and without immediate epinephrine, it can be fatal. The recall covered products sold for over a year and a half, a massive window where families were unknowingly exposing themselves to risk. And here's what makes this worse. Nature Mills markets heavily to families looking for convenient ethnic meals. Parents trust that label to tell them what's inside. When a company can't get basic ingredient disclosure right, what else are they getting wrong? What other shortcuts are they taking in sourcing, processing, or quality control? The FDA doesn't require companies to explain how allergen labeling failures happen, so Nature Mills issued a brief statement, pulled the products, and moved on. But trust isn't that easy to rebuild. Number 9. Knorr Rice Sides. This isn't about a hidden danger, but a hidden deception. Knorr is a household name owned by Unilever, one of the largest consumer goods companies in the world. Their rice sides line sits on shelves everywhere, marketed as quick, flavorful side dishes. The packaging boasts of quality ingredients and proudly displays no artificial flavors on the front. Except a recent class action lawsuit alleges that's a lie. The lawsuit, filed in federal court, claims that Knorr's rice and pasta sides contain synthetic flavoring agents that meet the legal definition of artificial flavors, despite the label saying otherwise. We're talking about ingredients like disodium inosinate and disodium guanylate, flavor enhancers derived through chemical synthesis. Technically, they're not classified as artificial under certain FDA loopholes, but functionally, they're synthetic. And Unilever knows it. This is a case of a massive corporation allegedly misleading consumers through clever labeling. While it won't send you to the hospital, it's a betrayal of trust. If they're willing to bend the truth on something as basic as flavoring, what else aren't they telling you? The lawsuit is ongoing, but the fact that it exists at all should make you think twice before grabbing that familiar yellow box. Number 8. Good and Gather Organic. Jasmine Rice, Target brand. You see organic on the label at Target, and you think you're making a healthy choice. You're paying extra for that green USDA organic seal, trusting that it means something. But in September of 2023, Target's supplier recalled over 17,000 pouches of Good and Gather organic jasmine rice across 27 distribution facilities. The reason? A rice weevil infestation. That's right, insects. Living, breeding insects in your organic rice. Rice weevils are small beetles that lay eggs inside rice grains. The larvae hatch, eat the grain from the inside, and emerge as adults to repeat the cycle. If you've ever opened a bag of rice and seen tiny black bugs crawling around, that's what you're dealing with. Now, rice weevils aren't toxic. They won't poison you, but they're a sign of poor storage conditions, either at the supplier's warehouse or during transport. And if weevils can get in, what else can? This wasn't a small problem. 17,000 pouches across 27 facilities means the contamination was widespread and systemic. Target issued the recall quietly, pulled the products, and moved on. But the organic label doesn't mean anything if the product is crawling with bugs. It's a reminder that store brands are only as good as their suppliers. And when Target outsources production to the lowest bidder, quality control suffers. If you're finding this helpful, hit that subscribe button for more food safety investigations. And drop a comment. Did you have any of these brands in your pantry? Number 7. Parents' Choice Rice Baby Cereal, Walmart brand. This one is infuriating. In October 2021, Walmart's supplier recalled multiple lots of Parents' Choice Rice Baby Cereal. The reason? They tested above the FDA's guidance level for inorganic arsenic. Let that sink in. This is baby food. Food marketed specifically for infants as young as 4 months old, and it contained dangerously high levels of a known carcinogen. Arsenic is a poison, Inorganic arsenic, the kind found in rice, is classified as a Group 1 carcinogen by the World Health Organization. It's linked to bladder cancer, lung cancer, and skin cancer. And for infants, whose brains and bodies are still developing, arsenic exposure can cause cognitive impairment, developmental delays, and immune system damage. The FDA set a limit of 100 parts per billion for infant rice cereal in 2020 because babies are especially vulnerable. Parents' choice exceeded that limit, and this wasn't an isolated incident. It was part of a larger congressional investigation that found multiple major baby food brands knowingly sold products with high levels of toxic heavy metals. Walmart pulled the affected lots, but the damage was done. How many babies consumed that cereal before the recall? How many parents trusted that Walmart label and fed their children poison? This is a betrayal of the highest order, and it's why you should never assume that a major retailer's brand is automatically safe. Number 6. Garland Ventures, Anjoy Asian Foods. In 2016, a recall was issued for Anjoy chicken fried rice, produced by Garland Ventures and sold under multiple private labels. This wasn't for an allergen or a bug. This was for fear of Listeria monocytogenes, one of the deadliest foodborne pathogens. Listeria causes listeriosis, an infection with a fatality rate as high as 30% in vulnerable populations. That includes pregnant women, newborns, the elderly, and anyone with a weakened immune system. For pregnant women, listeria can cause miscarriage, stillbirth, or severe infection in the newborn. The contamination was traced back to frozen vegetables used in the fried rice mix. A single supplier's contaminated product triggered a cascade of recalls across dozens of brands and products. That's the terrifying reality of our food supply chain. One contaminated ingredient from one facility can spread across the country before anyone realizes there's a problem. Garland Ventures issued the recall, pulled the products, and claimed they had implemented corrective measures. But the fact that Listeria made it into a finished product at all shows a catastrophic failure of safety protocols. Listeria thrives in cold, wet environments, which is why it's common in refrigerated and frozen foods. But proper sanitation and testing should catch it before it reaches consumers. When it doesn't, people die. Number 5. Emerald River Premium Thai Jasmine Rice. In March of 2024, the company Otis McAllister recalled 135,000 pounds of its Emerald River Premium Thai Jasmine rice. This time the danger was physical, shards of broken glass. Glass in rice. Think about that for a second. You're cooking dinner. You pour rice into a pot. You don't see the glass because it's small, clear, and mixed in with thousands of grains. You cook it, serve it, and someone in your family bites down. The glass cuts their mouth, their throat, or worse, they swallow it, and it causes internal injuries. Eating glass can cause severe lacerations, internal bleeding, and perforated intestines. It can require emergency surgery, and if the glass is small enough to pass through the digestive system, it can still cause damage along the way. This is a completely preventable contamination. Glass contamination usually happens when a bottle, jar, or piece of equipment breaks during processing. Proper quality control should catch it. Metal detectors, visual inspections, and sifting should remove foreign objects before the rice is packaged. But Otis McAllister's facility failed. 135,000 pounds of contaminated rice made it to store shelves before the company realized there was a problem. That's not a small oversight. That's a catastrophic failure of safety protocols. And the worst part? You'd never know the glass was there until it was too late. Number 4. Trader Joe's chicken, lentil, and caramelized onion pilaf. Trader Joe's has a cult following. People love the quirky branding, the affordable prices, the sense that they're buying something unique. But that loyalty was tested in February of 2024 when the company issued a public health notice for its popular frozen rice pilaf. The reason? Customers were finding rocks in it, not small pebbles. Rocks. Hard, tooth-breaking, choking hazard rocks. Multiple customers reported biting down on stones while eating the pilaf, and Trader Joe's pulled the product from shelves nationwide. This is a horrifying failure of quality control. The pilaf is a frozen prepared meal, which means it went through multiple stages of processing, mixing, and packaging. At no point did anyone catch the fact that rocks were mixed in with the rice. Rocks in food can cause cracked teeth, broken fillings, and choking. If you're elderly or have dental work, biting down on a rock can shatter a crown or bridge, requiring thousands of dollars in emergency dental work. And if a child chokes on a rock, you're looking at a life-threatening emergency. Trader Joe's is a private label brand, which means they don't manufacture their own products. They contract with suppliers and slap the Trader Joe's label on it. That gives them plausible deniability when something goes wrong, but it also means they're not in direct control of quality. And when quality fails, customers pay the price. If this video is opening your eyes to what's really in your pantry, hit that like button and let us know in the comments which of these brands surprised you the most. Number 3. Ben's Original Ready Rice. Even one of the most iconic rice brands in the world isn't immune. In October of 2025, Ben's Original, formerly Uncle Ben's, recalled several varieties of its ready-to-eat rice products. The problem? They were contaminated with small, naturally occurring stones. The recall covered long grain white, whole grain brown, and long grain and wild varieties in 8.8-ounce pouches. Specific lot codes with best buy dates extending into 2026 were listed on the FDA recall database. Now, Ben's Original is owned by Mars Incorporated, a company with annual revenues over $40 billion. They have entire teams dedicated to quality assurance. They have state-of-the-art processing facilities. And yet stones made it through production, through packaging, through distribution, and onto store shelves across America. The company claimed the stones were naturally occurring and came from the rice farm. But that's not an excuse. That's an admission of failure. Rice goes through multiple cleaning and sorting stages before it's packaged. Stones should be removed during those processes. Consumers trust that a brand this large has the technology and protocols to remove foreign objects before they reach the final product. When that trust is broken, it's not just a quality issue, it's a safety issue. And if you've got Ben's Original Ready Rice in your cabinet right now, check the lot codes against the FDA recall list. If it matches, don't eat it. Throw it out. Number 2. Lundberg Family Farm Sustainable Wild Blend. This one is a shocker. Lundberg is widely considered one of the safest, most reputable rice brands in America. They're organic, they're family-owned, they publish sustainability reports, and they're transparent about their sourcing. For years, food safety advocates have recommended Lundberg as a trusted alternative to commodity rice brands. But in May 2024, the company recalled 27,000 bags of their wild blend rice due to contamination with what inspectors described as a foreign object that appears to be of rodent origin. Let's not mince words. That means rodent parts. In your rice? From one of the most trusted brands in America. The recall covered rice sold in 7 states, and Lundberg issued a public statement saying the contamination was isolated to a specific production batch. They claimed they had identified the source of the problem and implemented corrective measures, but the damage to trust was done. If even Lundberg, with their stellar track record and rigorous quality standards, can have a rodent contamination issue, then no brand is perfect. It proves that you can never be complacent. Rodent contamination is dangerous. Rodent feces and urine can carry salmonella, leptospirosis, hantavirus, and other pathogens that cause serious illness. If you're immunocompromised, elderly, or managing chronic conditions, exposure can be life-threatening. Lundberg handled the recall responsibly, but the fact that it happened at all is a wake-up call. No brand, no matter how trusted, is immune to contamination. Number 1. Goya rice. And that brings us to number 1, the most recent and arguably one of the most disgusting rice-related recalls. In January of 2026, just weeks ago, a massive recall was issued after an FDA inspection found rodent excreta, rodent urine, and bird droppings in the warehouse where Goya rice and other products were stored. This wasn't a Goya-specific recall, it was a recall of thousands of products distributed by Gold Star Distribution in Minneapolis. But Goya rice was among the affected products, and the contamination was widespread. Let that image sink in. Rodent feces, rodent urine, bird droppings, in the warehouse where your rice is stored before it's shipped to grocery stores across the country. This is a complete and utter nightmare. Rodent urine can transmit leptospirosis, a bacterial infection that causes kidney damage, liver failure, and meningitis. Rodent feces can carry salmonella, which causes severe gastrointestinal illness. Bird droppings can carry histoplasmosis, a fungal infection that attacks the lungs. This is not a quality control issue, this is a biohazard. It's what happens when the supply chain breaks down, when warehouses cut corners on sanitation, and when inspections don't happen often enough. Goya is one of the most recognizable brands in America, especially in Hispanic households. Families trust that label. They've been buying Goya products for generations, and now they're finding out that their rice may have been stored in conditions that would shut down a restaurant. The recall affected products sold in Indiana, Minnesota, and North Dakota, but the psychological damage is nationwide. If it happened in one warehouse, how do you know it's not happening in others? This is why Goya is our number 1 deadly rice brand that Americans should never buy. Not because Goya itself is inherently bad, but because the supply chain that delivers Goya rice to your table failed in the most disgusting way possible. So, what rice is safe to eat? The key is to choose the rice from regions with lower arsenic levels and from brands that are transparent about their sourcing and testing. Number 1. California-grown Calrose or sushi rice. Consistently, rice grown in California has been shown to have the lowest levels of inorganic arsenic. A 2025 study published by Consumer Reports tested over 100 rice samples and found that California white rice averaged just 38 parts per billion of inorganic arsenic, compared to 95 parts per billion for rice from the southeastern United States. California rice benefits from cleaner soil and water. The state never had the same history of arsenic-based pesticide use that plagued southern cotton fields. And California's strict agricultural regulations mean better oversight of growing conditions. Brands like Coda Farms, which grows Kokuho rose rice exclusively in California, if you're buying sushi rice or medium grain rice, look for California on the label. Number 2. Thai jasmine rice from reputable brands. Jasmine rice from Thailand also tends to have lower arsenic levels. A study in the Journal of Agricultural and Food Chemistry found that jasmine rice from Thailand averaged 60 parts per billion of inorganic arsenic, significantly lower than US long grain rice. The key is buying from brands that are transparent about their sourcing. Three Ladies brand and Golden Phoenix are both imported from Thailand and have consistent quality. They're widely available in Asian grocery stores and online. Avoid budget imports with inconsistent sourcing. Stick with brands that have been around for decades and have a reputation to protect. Number 3. Indian basmati rice from tested brands. Basmati rice from India is another good option. It's an aromatic long-grain rice that's naturally lower in arsenic because it's grown in regions with different soil conditions. Studies show basmati rice generally tests at or below the FDA's arsenic limits for infant cereal, which is a good benchmark. Brands like Tilda and Devoured are well established and source exclusively from India. They publish country of origin information and have good track records for quality control. Again, the key is transparency. If a brand won't tell you where their rice comes from, don't buy it. Number 4. Brands that publish third-party testing. This is the gold standard. Some brands go beyond minimum requirements and publish the results of third-party testing for heavy metals. This transparency allows you to make an informed decision. Rice Select, for example, publishes testing data on their website showing arsenic levels for their products. Even Lundberg Family Farms, despite their recent recall, has historically published testing results and maintains rigorous quality standards. If a brand is willing to put their test results out there for public scrutiny, that's a sign they're serious about safety. Demand that level of transparency from the brands you buy. Thanks for watching. If you found this helpful, hit that like button and subscribe for more food safety investigations. And let us know in the comments. Did you have any of these brands in your pantry? We'll see you in the next one.